What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now seeing the left is in an absolute panic, frantic, trying to keep that image up, that shield in front of the American people's eyes to say that this guy Joe Biden is fit to be president once again, serving another term. So we've got Nancy Pelosi absolutely lose it on CNN, going off on Jen Psaki, trying to keep up that image, the narrative. This guy Joe Biden is fit. It's just not working, guys. We can see that it's all falling apart. It's a disaster. This was an update, guys. I'm excited to get the clip, see exactly what's going on, what's got Nancy Pelosi absolutely melting down. We'll get straight into the clips, and I'll save my thoughts for the back end, guys. So definitely stick around to the end. You guys get my thoughts on the back end, and also you to push this video out. Definitely stick around until the end, you guys. But let's get straight into the news. Before we even do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Democrats go violent. Nancy Pelosi, Jen Psaki covering up for what the left in their response to Trump getting immunity. And of course, Nancy Pelosi drunk on box wine in public on MSNBC, and Jen Psaki, her enabler, her 12-step enabler. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. As Nancy Pelosi, she needs to be in jail. Probably Jen Psaki too, just for fun. Let's watch this together. What triggered it first was Jen Psaki writes on Twitter, very powerful statement from Adam Schiff. No one's ever written that before in their life. That notion doesn't occur to normal people, just Jen Psaki. On SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States immunity decision, including under this ruling, a president can order the assassination or jailing of a political rival and be immune. Notice how quickly the Democrat mind just goes straight to violence. Okay, this is their go-to. They can take a bribe in exchange for an official act and still be immune. I believe she's projecting, because that's exactly what Biden did with Ukraine. They can organize a military coup to hold on to power and still be immune. Remember when the Democrats put out 50,000 soldiers at the Capitol right after they were elected, and put up razor wire everywhere and walls? I went to Washington, D.C. I actually saw it. They can, if that sounds mad, that's because it is. Speaking of mad, here's Nancy Pelosi.
Says that the former president is above the law. They will have done a grave disservice to justice in our country.
Here she's lecturing the Supreme Court justices who are justice about what is justice in our country. She does not care about justice in our country.
Let us hope that they have some.
What is some? I looked it up in the dictionary. I could not find the word some.
Some. Show us some allegiance to their oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And that just because you're president doesn't mean you're immune from prosecution if you break the law. So that will be a big test for the court tomorrow to see if they honor their oath of office.
And we now know that they did not rule the way that she thought they would rule. So now she's saying they've betrayed their oath of office. That's how we do it. If you disagree with me, you're not agreeing with your oath. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi, who has betrayed her oath of office, remember, this is one of the most rich people to do insider trading ever to go through politics.
They've given us a lot to doubt them lately.
By delaying as they have undermined justice in our country, in my view.
No question. Could not
agree more. She just sits there and just, yes, she's a muppet. She's not even conducting an interview. The delay, which, by the way, they're angry that the Supreme Court took this thing in July this month. And that infuriates them because they wanted it sped up. They wanted to politicize and force the Supreme Court to take this thing. Look, Jack Smith can sit there and run everything he wants up to the U.S. can run everything they want up to the Supreme Court. They are not pressured to panic and play your political games. They're trying to keep their institution from turning into another politicized institution.
And by the way, let's just go back to January 6th. Let's go back to January 6th, because this is one of the charges against the president. The president goes on TV and says, I planned my own assassination. No, I didn't. He did. They're going to hang the vice president of the United States, and they're going to put a bullet in my F-word head. And he will not send the National Guard.
Anyone who threatened violence against anyone, be it Pence or Nancy Pelosi, they do need to be locked up. Okay, I'm fine with that. But she did not. She had a chance to call the National Guard, and she didn't. That's on, and it's on camera, her saying, this is our fault. This is my fault. Like, she takes responsibility. Now, of course, the story all changes when they're on MSNBC.
People were injured, over 100 law enforcement people were injured. Some people died.
Not as many people died as died on Black Lives Matter. It's about 20 times more violence happened, including police officer deaths. She doesn't care. The body count does not matter to them.
Because of him. And people died again because of his delay and denial about COVID.
What about the people who died and committed suicide, the January 6th defendants who couldn't get tried and were just rotting in jail because you delayed their trial? You delayed it. So she does not care about the delays and costing lives either. I wish she did care.
This is a totally irresponsible person. And again, this Supreme Court would say that a person is above the law, and they've waited months to come to a conclusion about it.
No, let's get into the mind of the Democrats and how violent they are. Here's Sean Davis on Twitter, buddy of mine from the Federalist.com. SCOTUS, when the Supreme Court says you can't throw your rival in prison because you don't like him, Democrats say, so you're saying we can drop bombs on him? The Supreme Court says, you really can't even charge your rival with a crime because his presidency made you mad. And the Democrats say, got it. So we can incinerate his house with him in it. There's calls right now by Democrats saying they should drone strike Trump now that Biden has immunity. They go straight to hardcore violence. Remember that. The Supreme Court says the Constitution protects officials from being terrorized with lawfare for official actions they undertook while in office. And the Democrats say, oh, it makes sense. So we can officially assassinate everyone we don't like. The Supreme Court says prosecuting a politician because you don't like his politics would destroy our country, and we're not going to allow it. And the Democrats conclude, roger that. So what you're saying is we're officially allowed to eliminate Trump and the Supreme Court as long as we say it's official and stuff. Yeah, they're also calling for the impeachment of the Supreme Court. I'll cover that in another video. What do you guys think in the comments below? Is Nancy Pelosi more unhinged and drunk than Jen Psaki on this one?
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Doug in Exile. I'll definitely be sure to leave the original video link down in the description box below. For those of you who want to go over there, check that out. I'll ask you guys to go over there and show our friend Doug a bit of love. Oh my goodness, guys. What a train wreck of a segment we just watched. We're sitting there watching Jen Psaki trying to back up Nancy Pelosi, but she's just way too out there, guys. She's too far gone. Nancy Pelosi was right there having a breakdown, a panic attack at the fact that the Supreme Court was going to rule in favor of Donald Trump's immunity. Even Nancy, with the TDS Trump derangement syndrome blinders, could see that the U.S. Supreme Court was leading up to granting Donald Trump that presidential immunity. I know we've seen Nancy complain about how long the U.S. Supreme Court took to rule on this one, how long they took to come with a verdict, whether or not they're going to grant that immunity or not. And that's because they had to hear and, gather all information, resources, and reflect upon all of that stuff. Everything had to be taken into consideration before making the decision. I mean, this is one that goes just not for Donald Trump's case, but it goes for, presidents going forward. And if, Donald Trump didn't have immunity here, presidents would have to move, watching their back, making sure that when they're operating, doing their job, official acts as a president, that they are, covering their tail, because they could potentially have a political opponent come back at them for just doing their job as a president. And that's what the U.S. Supreme Court was trying to make sure that they, nipped in the bud right here. Let's not forget, guys, this wasn't all to get justice. This was not because Donald Trump was right or wrong. This is because he was trying to be in that seat as president, take the White House from this guy Biden, the Biden administration. Of course, we got Nancy Pelosi. She can't see that through the TDS, Trump derangement syndrome blinders, guys. All she knows is that she's trying to get to justice and save democracy, guys. She doesn't know justice. She doesn't know anything but corruption, guys. And that's why she did all that insider trade to get her so rich. Come on now, Nancy Pelosi. I couldn't even keep a straight face to hear her saying that she wants to see justice being served. And Donald Trump is just such a bad guy. She's the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen on a live TV, guys. MSNBC's Jen Psaki's tweet was way far out there. It was definitely Trump deranged, but I don't know. I think Nancy Pelosi takes the cake as far as who's the most deranged in this clip, in this segment. I mean, she just can't get over the fact that the U.S. Supreme Court was getting ready, gearing up the rule in favor of Donald Trump, granting that presidential immunity. And that's exactly what happened, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. How do you think Nancy Pelosi's face looked right after she seen the verdict come out from the U.S. Supreme Court, guys? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button. Share us out to as many Facebook friends as possible, guys. Share the truth. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost one thing, you guys. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next week.